and I've been really looking forward to this race. And not just because there's an Australian crew in it, but because we have the top outfit here from Molesey Boat Club. They have had their eyes on the prize, the Britannia Challenge Cup. A very strong crew here from Mercantile Rowing Club Australia. Almost too tight for me to call which way this is going to go. I think it will be great to see both crews finally take it all the way to the line and really have to race all the way for this one.
This is another one on paper that looks like it's going to go to the wire. You know, they've had the same identical times to fall in the barrier and the finish in the semi-finals, winning by identical margins. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. This is definitely going to be one of the tight ones of today, I think.
And we've had so many that's been the case coming in, where it's really lineable. They've had similar times all the way through the regatta, not knowing which way the final might go. So certainly this is an exciting one. We love a close race here, and we've seen some of the closest in the history of the Henley Royal Regatta at this event. Some margins that are just unbelievable looking at the photo finish. So will we have another photo finish here, or will one of these crews prove dominant in the Britannia Challenge Cup? Mercantile Rowing Club of Australia, good morning to those of you joining us from Australia for this race. They're on the left-hand side of your screen. On the right-hand side of your screen, Molesey Boat Club, which also has an Australian coxing it in Rebecca Harrison, a member of Sydney University Boat Club, an Australian representative cox, and also, of course, coxswain of the New South Wales Women's 8 that made history, winning the Interstate Regatta in the Queen's Cup this year after 14 years of dominance by Victoria. So a very talented young cox there in the bow seat of the Molesey crew. But look at the Mercs crew. They have blasted out. They're out to take this from stroke one. They've
gone out really hard there. Really impressive start there by the crew from Mercantile. But I was talking to fellow steward Johnny Searle before I came to the commentary box, and he did say the Molesey crew are slow off the blocks, but as they get going, they get moving. So it'd be interesting to see whether they stick to that form guide, not being that quick out, but are really powerful in that middle part of the race and then the second half as well.
So we've got the big diesel engine here from Molesey. We've got the young lads from Australia, from Mercantile, at the top of your screen, moving out to a length. Have they gone out too hard too early? Will this steam train from Molesey row through them in the second half of the race? It's so tough to know how to pitch these match races, isn't it? Do you go out and try and dominate and control early, knowing that you could have spent too much, or do you sit and lie in wait, perhaps like Molesey, confident in what you can bring to the second half of the race?
And this is the beauty of having a front load of cox here. You know, the cox can give them all the information so they can just focus on their job, going through the processes that they've been through and training every day for the last year since they competed at Henley last year. So, you know, having those eyes in your kind of back of your head with someone telling you what's going on is so important. And this is when a cox basically earns their money as a job or a position in the boat. You know, making sure the athletes stay focused, stay in the rhythm, and still carry that belief that even though they're behind, they're still in where they want to be.
Yeah, because for the coxswain in the Mercantile crew, that's Gola, he can't see what is coming up behind him. He has to rely on a little look out to the side every now and then, but you can see how low down those bow-seated coxswains are, and he'd be relying on any information coming from the Mercantile rowers to let him know if there's a charge coming from Molesey. It's a really tough position to be in as a cox, to try and control what's happening if you're in the leading crew, but also still trying to keep an eye on that crew from Molesey, who perhaps are just out of vision.
And that's a really impressive first half there from Mercantile. They've gone out hard. Looks like they've maintained that lead, and the next 2 minutes are really important for Molesey. They must stay in contact and try and start inching back on that crew.
Yeah, the crew from Mercs slightly heavier, about 6 kilos heavier on average than the Molesey crew. That could be an advantage if you're using that effectively in a boat like the Cox 4, which is heavy. It relies on power. It doesn't have the same run as a Coxless 4 because you've got that extra 55 kilos sitting up in the bow of the boat. It's an incredibly tough boat to row, the Cox 4.
There's mixed experience in the Molesey boat. You know, the stroke, Matt Christie is a Canadian lightweight international. And we have Kenneth Gray, who's in a 6th Henley, the 3rd time he's competed in this event, so he knows it really well. And that is a great move by Molesey to come back into play here. And we said this was going to be tight. We knew Mercantile were probably the faster crew to the first marker by only a second or two. Instead of Molesey going off slow, but they're coming into their form now.
And it looks to me like Molesey really have the momentum here. You can see just that little bit of extra acceleration there into the bow, whereas for me, Mercantile looking just a little flustered off the back end there, moving very quickly off the back. They just don't have that same real leverage and propulsion off the finish that the Molesey crew do. Molesey are looking really confident, and every seat that they're taking, they would be gaining energy from that and feeling really confident about what they're doing. But for me, the Molesey crew just really, that dominant rhythm that we knew they would have in the second half is starting to carry them through now.
And this is really important now for Mercantile to keep their heads as they've seen Molesey come back on them, stand focused on their thing. And that's when the cocks in their boat now will be earning their money, making sure the crew stay focused, don't get flustered by that crew coming back on us. We've had our respite now, can we go again? But Molesey looking really strong there.
And we know that Mercantile have great top speed. We saw it out of the blocks. Do they have something to wind home and finish with? Can they challenge Molesey here? But it looks like Molesey's taking the rate up. They can see that it's going to come to a big race here as they come up towards the stewards' enclosures. This race is far from over, but a devastating move from Molesey Boat Club during the middle part of the race there to take a half a length lead over Mercantile Rowing Club from Australia.
Yeah, incredible. And Molesey just keep inching out. It's really important. They keep their momentum now. They've got the upper hand. They must keep inching away. Don't give Mercantile a sniff, because, you know, when it comes to that flying dart at the end, you know, the amount of confidence crews get when they can sense they're coming back on someone can really kind of uplift them, and you just get pounced on as a crew.
I think everyone expected the winners for this would be Mercantile Rowing Club, talking to people around the regatta, but what a row here from Molesey Boat Club. The hometown crowd is going absolutely berserk. There's been a few international versus GB lineups here at the regatta, and you've really heard the crowd get behind them and lift them as they come past the stewards' enclosure particularly. And I don't think there's anything stopping Molesey now in the dying stages of this race. They are going on with this.
They look so strong there, really laying it down now. You got Bertie Schofield, who's the bow of the Molesey boat, his first Henley, making the final, leading it as they come into the diameters.
Mercantile desperately stepping up their rate here. They're fighting to the line, but they cannot stop this steam train from Molesey Boat Club. As they punch the water, hands up in victory, Molesey Boat Club take the Britannia Challenge Cup over Mercantile Rowing Club from Australia.
What an incredible race there from Molesey. We kind of pictured at the start saying that Mercantile had obviously gone off hard to take that lead, take that initiative. We were just waiting for that diesel engine to kick in with Molesey, and what a performance there in that second part of the race.
Here they were away at the start. Mercantile blasted out of the blocks. They took an early lead, but they really paid for that in the latter stages of the race. Johnny Searle warned you that Molesey would be a steam train, and that's exactly what we saw. They were confident just to sit down, let Mercantile blast out of the blocks, relying on that speed that they would have in the second half of the race.
Really impressive, confident row there, believing their ability, the speed they had, knowing there wouldn't be much difference between the two crews. Incredible performance there, Molesey. It's great to see them win that event again. Arms in the air, there's nothing better than crossing that line first at Henley.